Hello, I'm Rob Dwyer, Latin America editor of Euromoney magazine in Sao Paulo. Joining me now is Santiago Peña, formerly Paraguay's finance minister and now member of the board at Banco. Santiago, thanks for being here and congratulations on your award for Best Bank in Paraguay.
Thank you very much, Rob. It's always a pleasure to talk to you.
Now, Banco had really strong credit growth last year, and it was driven by some key sectors such as construction that were relatively insulated from the pandemic. Do you think Banco will be looking for broader sectoral growth going forward?
Yes, absolutely yes. And the idea here is understand the economic structure of Paraguay, how Paraguay faced the external risk. Last year when we began the pandemic, we understood that because of Paraguay economic structure, there were some key sectors that we continue to work. The agricultural sector was one, the cattle raising was the other one, and construction was also part of this agenda for growth from behalf of the government. So we decided to continue to support, and this is part of the story behind why Banco was ahead of its competition, because it understood very well the structure and the composition of the Paraguay economy. Of course, there are other sectors that are being very dynamic. There are others that are moving faster than others. Of course, the tertiary sector, the services still is the one that, due to the lockdown and some sector restrictions, is still lagging behind. But we continue to support the Paraguayan economic structure based on the strong fundamentals.
And what about retail? Because new banks, purely digital banks, have been growing very strongly in Latin America, and that was helped by the pandemic, the digitization of the banking system. What's your ambitions in the retail side in Paraguay?
Our starting point a couple of years ago, it was a corporate sector bank. We are very good. We have a very solid client base that was built over 3 decades of history of this bank. But we understood that we need to leapfrog to the retail sector, and we have to do it in a different way. We cannot do the 1 million unbanked with the same tools that we are responding to the demands of the corporate sector. So a couple of years ago, we began a process of moving all our platform to a technological platform. Banco has a relatively slow base of branches, so we have a huge amount of investment on the digital platform. For that, we built an alliance with a fintech company that manage all the points of payments, the payment system in Paraguay, and we developed a wallet, electronic wallet. So we are building all of our digital platform over that digital wallet. So we are planning to do this in alliance with another company. So I think we think of ourselves as a financial conglomerate with strong alliance with companies that have a strong footing on some sectors. For example, Paraguay launched last year the electronic payment of the public transportation system. So this is something huge for Paraguay, replacing the payment by bills and doing this by electronic. So we built the alliance with this company that was the beneficiary of the contract with the government. So this is allowing us to reach 1 million person that rides on the public transportation system every day. So this is in part explaining the growth that we are having ahead of the other competition in the industry. So this is something that we are strongly working on. And of course, it's going to be the digital bank of Paraguay, but with the old features of a physical bank.
And I know Banco plays a very strong role in attracting foreign capital into Paraguayan investments. How do you think the country is perceived today amongst international investors, particularly, I'm thinking in contrast to some of the other Latin American economies?
After working for many years in the government, first on the central bank and then the Ministry of Finance, I was part of the team that launched the inaugural bond of Paraguay in 2013. So it's almost a decade ago. And this has changed dramatically the perception of foreign investors, rating agencies, international banks. From the side of Banco, we are doing something very similar. We are one of the 4 banks that also, besides having the local requirement of having a rating agency, we also have the international rating agencies evaluating us, and this has been for more than a decade. So there has been a huge change in the perception from international foreign investors into Paraguay. I think this is going to change more. Of course, economic fundamentals are an important key of that. I think the story about Paraguay of building macro stability is paying off. Last year, Paraguay was the economy that was affected the least among all the countries in Latin America. We are projecting a growth of 4.5% this year, and I think Paraguay will continue to grow in the coming years. And the strong macro fundamentals, and independent central bank, fiscal policy that is very aligned towards a medium term, I think are the positive mechanism that investors are looking. We're still a long way, but Paraguay, I think, is showing very good results. And of course, this also mixed with the political agenda that is going through in Latin America. A lot of new governments are in a way shifting towards a little bit the left, and this is creating a little bit of nervousness in the markets. In that regard, Paraguay continue to maintain macro policies that are very sustainable in the long term. Macro stability is one of the fundamentals. And I think we're going to see more and more foreign investors. For many years, we received a lot of investment from Brazil, US, Europe. Now we are seeing a broader base of investors. Paraguay is entering into very large projects. These is projects that are going through from the 300 millions to the $1 billion, something that was not very usual in the case of Paraguay. We are seeing investment in the paper mill industry, something that really changed the economic structure of Uruguay. I think this is also going to be very, very positive for Paraguay. We have a long way to go, but I think maintaining macro stability and policies that are sustainable in the long term is going to be very positive for Paraguay, and the financial sector is very important player in that area.
No, thank you. Yeah, and Paraguay is certainly the standout economy in Latin America at the moment, and Banco Base within the financial system. So thanks very much for your insights today, Santiago. Congratulations again on the award, and thanks for taking the time today.
Thank you very much, Rob.